to B1 of Find Your Balance. The B component of Find Your Balance, the letter B, is associated with single leg balance. So we have these four components. A is rewriting yourself. B is single leg balance. C is working with the eyes closed. And D is working with situations where the head is more over, right? And now all of this is, I go over all of this in the introduction video, but just, I feel like it's helpful to keep mentioning it. The rewriting mechanism, A, that's both vestibular, proprioceptive, and visual. It's all of them combined. This one, the single leg balance, is primarily proprioceptive. B is proprioceptive, that's today. C, the eyes closed, that is primarily vestibular and proprioceptive, right? We've removed the visual component. Now we're only working with that fluid moving in the inner ear, and then also our body's sense of where it is in space. And then D, working with that inversion piece, that's sort of vestibular and visual. So we have all these different permutations of the three different components of balance. Again, if that made your head spin a little bit, it made my head spin a little bit. So take a deep breath. Basically, just do the program and your balance will get a lot better. And today, single leg balance. So, bare feet, as always, unless for some reason you really can't do bare feet, but I would highly, highly, highly encourage you to be barefoot on a comfortable surface. And we're going to start the same way that we started in the others. Eyes open, having your feet underneath you, parallel. You can determine the width of your stance, go with what's comfortable for you. Start by placing your mind in your feet. What do I mean by that? I mean feel the sensations coming from your feet. Do not think about your feet. This is not about the idea of your feet. This is about your actual feet on the ground where they are right now. Feel the ground that you're standing on. Feel the air touching the tops of your feet. Feel how the weight of your body is pressing the bottoms of your feet into the ground. Notice how that weight is distributed. Where is there more? Where is there less? For me, there's actually places on my feet that are not in contact with the ground. So now that we have our mind in our feet, now that our body is in a relationship with our environment, remember, which is a prerequisite for your body being able to solve the problem, is it has to be in relationship with the environment. You have to be present where you are. So now that your mind is in your feet, we're going to start in a very simple way with a weight shift. Same way we did in the A sequence this week, the rewriting sequence. I'm shifting my weight left to right. Going nice and slow. Feeling when you're in the middle. So here my weight is evenly distributed. And then you go past that point and it's almost like two scales, right? They're even with each other, and then one gets heavier as one gets lighter. And as one gets lighter, the other one gets heavier equally. You're just changing your weight distribution. So now, shift your weight over to your right foot. And all I want you to do is I want you to pick up the heel of your left foot slightly off the ground and then set it back down. And now shift your weight over to your left foot and pick up the heel of your your right foot, and set it back down. Come back to the middle. And shift your weight to your right foot. So now all of my weight is dropping into that right foot. Pick up the heel of your left foot. I still have the ball of my left foot and the toes of my left foot in contact with the ground. Just just lifting the heel. Go ahead and set it back down. Weight over the left foot. Pick up the heel of the right foot. And set it back down. Do this a few more times in your own time. Get a few more repetitions in of each side. Shifting your weight over to one side, picking up the heel of the opposite foot. Nice. Still with me? Hanging in there? From here, I shift my weight over to my right foot. I pick up the heel of my left foot, and now I also lift the ball of my left foot off the ground. So it's just my big toe, pretty much, of my left foot. And then I set it back down. And shift the weight over to the left foot. And pick up the heel of your right foot. Lift the ball of the right foot off the ground. I still have the big toe of my right foot in contact with the ground. And I set it back down. Weight over on the right foot. Pick up the heel of that left foot. Keep lifting, keep lifting, keep lifting. Now it's just the big toe of my left foot that's pressing into the ground. And I set that foot back down. And I shift my weight over to my left foot. I pick up my right heel. I keep lifting. I press my right big toe into the ground. And then I set the whole thing back down. Go back and forth doing, do like 2 or 3 more sets of this. Going back and forth. A set means both sides. So that opposite foot that has no weight, you're actively pressing that big toe into the ground, but all the rest of the foot is off the ground. And do one more here. All right. Now the fun one. Find the stance that works for you. Feet, parallel, about hips width apart. I shift my weight over to my right. Pick up the heel of my left foot. The ball of my left foot is just the toe of my left foot that's in contact with the ground. And now I'm just going to lift that toe off the ground and set it back down. Just for a second. Just really, really tiny. And over to the left. Pick up the heel of my right foot. The ball of my right foot. My right big toe is pressing into the ground. And just for a second, I lift it off the ground and I set it back down. Continue to go back and forth here. Weight over one foot, the other foot rolls off the floor gradually, and then you hover that toe and then set it back down. And I want you to notice what happens in the foot on the ground when you pick up that toe all the way off the ground. Just for a second. It's not really long at all. And obviously if you start to lose your balance, you just put that foot back on the ground. But when that toe is off the ground for that one little second, what's happening in your standing foot? Keep your attention there. Feel the adjustments your foot is making. Feel the floor underneath your foot and feel how different parts of your standing foot are pressing into the floor as your other leg is hovering for just a moment. Feel all of the muscles around your ankle in that standing foot working when you pick up that other toe. Let's do one more each side. Good job. Okay, so we are on to the final version of this part of the B program. So here, we're going to do the same thing that we just did. Starts exactly the same way. I shift my weight over to my right foot. I roll my left foot off the ground. I press that left big toe into the ground, and then I pick that toe up off the ground. And now I'm going to hold it for longer. And while I'm keeping my left toe off the ground, I continue to feel and notice what is happening in my right foot. And then I set that left toe back down. Now, I want you to hold it for as long as you feel comfortable. Doesn't have to be as long as I'm doing it. But you're going for more time on one foot. And as you do this, and this is the important thing, continue to feel what is happening in the standing foot. Notice all of those constant adjustments that are happening. Your foot is working like crazy in a very intelligent way to keep you balanced on one foot. So I want you to be feeling that and be aware of what's happening. Not that you have to understand it. I don't even understand it. I don't have like some analysis of all of those tiny little micro adjustments. It doesn't matter. The analysis is not important, but being in connection with it is important. Feeling it is important. So I shift my weight over to my left foot, roll my right foot off the ground. Just my right big toe is pressing into the ground, and then I lift that toe up off the ground. And now for as long as I'm holding this toe off the ground, I'm feeling everything that is happening in my left foot. And then I set that toe back down and come over to the other side. So now you go back and forth on your own time. You don't have to follow my timing here, because the length of time that your toe is going to be off the ground is going to be different than me. Just hold it up as long as you can and set it down when you need to. And while you're doing that, be aware of what's happening in your standing foot. Let's do one more on each side. Okay, nice job. So that was all proprioceptive work. The head was level, right? Again, the vestibular system is these little tiny rocks, basically, that are floating around in the fluid of the inner ear. And it's all these like semicircular canals. It's actually quite beautiful if you look up an image of it. And there are all these different interlocking circles, and as the fluid moves around in there, as your head moves and tilts and changes its position, that fluid moves and changes, and that's part of the system of balance. It's how your body knows like what position your head is in. The visual system is another one, right? I orient towards a horizon line, so I can see, I have some sense of like the surface of the earth being this flat thing, or it looks flat to me, and that I am level on it. That's the visual component. The proprioceptive component is feeling. Feeling, that's what we're doing when we're feeling our feet. When you're putting your mind in your standing foot, you are training your proprioceptive like crazy. So now we're going to introduce some of the other components of balance into this single leg session. Visual and vestibular. plus still proprioceptive. So we're stacking now. So we start with that weight shift. The feet are parallel, underneath the hips. Choose the width of your stance as you like. Swaying left to right. And now the next time that your weight is over on your right side, your left foot is still flat on the floor. Your weight is on your right foot. Keep your weight on your right foot. Look to the right. Keep your weight on your right foot. Look to the left. Your eyes are open. Looking back front. Keep your weight on your right foot. Look up. Go slow. Keeping your weight on your right foot. Look down at the ground. Back center. Weight on both feet. How'd that go? Hopefully it went smoothly. You can move your head as slowly as you need to keep your balance. Another thing that's going to help you is keeping your mind in your standing foot, feeling your foot in contact with the ground. Remember, your body has to be in a present moment relationship with its environment. Thinking about the past or the future does not help you find your balance at all. Feeling your foot on the ground right now, in this moment, will absolutely help you find your balance. So, we take our weight over to our left foot. My right foot is still flat on the ground. Slowly, I look to my left. I can still feel my left foot in contact with the ground. I look to my right. Looking back front. Up. And down. Do another set on your own timing. You have the pattern now. You shift the weight to one side. Weight's all on one foot. You look in all four directions. Side, side, up and down. Okay. If you need to take a second to finish up your other set, go ahead and do that. I'm going to move on. I shift my weight over to my right. My weight is mostly over my right foot. I pick up my left heel. The ball of my left foot and the toes of my left foot are still in contact with the ground. All I have done is lifted my left heel. Keep this position. From here, look to your right. To your left. Up. And down. As always, feel what's happening in the bottom of your standing foot. Shift the weight to the left foot. Pick up the heel of the right foot. Look to your left. To your right. Looking up. And looking down. Another set. On your own time. Shift the weight to that right foot. Pick up that left heel. Looking in four directions. Get in that other side. take a second to finish up your other side. Go for it. We're going to move on. I shift my weight to my right foot. Pick up the heel of my left foot. I pick up the ball of my left foot. It is just the toe, mostly the big toe of my left foot in contact with the ground. Pretty much all of my weight is on my right foot. From here, look to the right and the left. Looking up, looking down. Change sides. Weight on the left foot. Pick up the heel of the right foot. Pick up the ball of the right foot. It's just the toe of the right foot in contact with the ground. Look to the left. To the right. Looking up. Looking down. Both feet on the ground. Do another set on your own timing. As you do this, keep your attention in your standing foot. Continue to feel the sensations coming from your standing foot. Weight on the right. Picking up the left foot, just the big toe of the left foot on the ground. Looking in 4 directions. Switch sides. Finish up, take your time. Just make sure you get in both sides. And finish up. Okay. Now for this last version, we're going to lift up our other foot completely off the ground and attempt to hold it up off the ground for the whole time that we look in 4 directions. No expectation whatsoever that you will succeed at this the first time you do this, or the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, or 10th time that you do this. It will take a while. Especially if balance is not something that you've trained. This is not something that you're gonna get in a week. Now it is something you can get in 3 months. Even if balance is something that you have never trained before and you feel like you have the worst balance, if you do this program and you do all 4 aspects of it, including the warm-up, do not skip the warm-up. If you do this program regularly for 3 months, in 3 months, odds are very good that you will be able to hold your other foot off the ground while you look in all 4 directions. For now, wherever you are at, whatever level you are at, if you need to touch the ground, try not to put your whole foot back on the ground. Try to keep your foot up and just touch your toe for a second and then pick it up again. So if my weight is on my right foot, I have my other foot completely off the ground, and now I'm looking to the right, and all of a sudden I feel like, oh my God, I'm totally gonna fall. Try to just touch your toe for a second. You can pause the head movement, touch the toe, and then pick the toe back up, and continue and keep going. And now I'm looking to my left. You can also just oh my God, I'm gonna lose it. Just touch for a second, keep looking, and then pick it up again. Oh my God, I'm gonna lose it. I just touch for a second, I keep looking up, and then I pick it off again, yeah? So this is what we're gonna go for now. It's up to you. There's a million different strategies, right? There's no perfect way. You can pause the movement of your head while you put your toe on the ground and wait to continue looking until you pick your toe up off the ground again. Or you can just like leave the toe on the ground for a second while you're looking in a direction and then take it off when you feel ready. Up to you. Again, try to only touch the toe so that you're not putting the whole foot back on the ground. And we're going to go for 2 sets. That means right, left, right, left. So, we shift the weight over to the right. We roll that left foot off the ground. It's just the left big toe. We pick up that big toe too. Now it's just the right foot on the ground. My mind is in my right foot. I'm feeling all these little muscles and what's happening. And I slowly look to my right. And my left. Looking up. And looking down. Setting that left foot on the ground. Shift the weight over to the left foot. Roll that right foot off the ground. Pick up that right big toe. And slowly look to your left. Looking to your right. Looking up. And looking down. Back front. Set that right foot back on the ground. And do one more set on your own timing. I'll go through it as well, but I'll try to talk a little bit less so that you can follow your body and the timing that your body prefers. Making sure that you're getting in both sides. Take your time to finish up your other side. And that is the last bit of this B1, working on single leg balancing. This is the level 1 version of this session. So let's just review quickly what we went through. Started off just with a simple weight shift, right to left. From there, while keeping the head looking front, we picked up the heel of the opposite foot. From there, we went to picking up everything but the toe. And from there, we went to actually hovering that other foot off the ground while keeping our mind in our standing foot the whole time. From there, we incorporated this vestibular and visual component by changing the orientation of our head. So not only are we now looking in different directions, so we're getting different information coming into our vision, we're also changing the relationship of our head to gravity. So all of that fluid in the inner ear, in those semicircular canals, is now moving, so our vestibular system is getting flooded with all of this great information. So we shifted the weight to the right,